Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. Today on Bold and the Beautiful, RJ shows Carter some designs. Electra and Will are surprised by Dylan's news, and Taylor and Deacon vow to find a way to be together. Read the last B&B recap. Steffi threatened to cut Taylor out of the family, and Sheila could sense something is going on. At the Cliff House, Taylor paces and says she doesn't want to lose her family or Deacon. At Il Giardino, Deacon tells Sheila how much he appreciates her. She assumes there is more on his mind. He says they need to talk. The busboy interrupts and tells her the chef needs to see her. Once she walks off, Taylor calls and begs him to hurry over to speak to her before he talks to Sheila. Sheila returns, confused to see her husband gone, and sends him a text. Deacon arrives at the Cliff House and sees how frazzled Taylor is. She explains something has changed. Her feelings for him are the same, but she told Steffi about them and she's worried about the kids. Steffi gave her an ultimatum and threatened to cut her out of the family. She loves them and can't lose them. But I can't lose you either, she adds. He wants her to be happy. She wants that too, but can't lose her family. Deacon wants her with every cell of his body. He wants to look into her eyes all the time. She sees the real him. Deacon tells her he's had a hard life and been a bad man. He's been wearing armor for so long, he didn't even realize how heavy it was. She's made him feel light and free again. Taylor tells him he makes her feel like the only person in the world. She needs him. They kiss. They need to find a way to make this work. They kiss more. RJ is in the design office, drawing as Carter works. They chat about him being back in LA and how stimulating it is. Carter assumes he's talking about the beautiful women. RJ thinks Will is the luckiest guy in the world. Carter says she's pretty special. Carter looks at his designs and is impressed by how amazing the dude has become. He thinks Rj should see them. RJ doesn't want to get his dad's hopes up. He wants to be sure it's time for him to stay. Carter gets it. Dylan joins Will and Electra in the showroom. They are eager to hear her good news. Ivy walks in and prompts her to go ahead and make her announcement. She says she got a job and will be leaving LA. They are happy for her. Dylan wishes she could stay. They have been so good to her, but she has to do this. Electra is happy for her and will miss her. Dylan has already cleared her things out and is leaving today. Dylan will never forget their kindness and generosity during the hardest time of her life. She tells Electra she never wanted to upset or disappoint her. They hug, and Dylan walks out. Ivy declares she needs to deal with a distribution issue and follows Dylan out to make sure she goes. Ivy returns to Electra, who is still surprised she said goodbye to Dylan today. Ivy thinks it was time. Electra will miss her. She was such a great friend. Ivy thinks it was for the best. Dylan bumps into RJ in the hall, making him spill on his shirt. She starts rubbing his chest and apologizing. They introduce themselves and he asks if she's okay. She's having an emotional day, but will be fine. He hopes he sees her around. Once she leaves, the secretary tells RJ to let her know if he needs anything. The Bold and the Beautiful's must-watch moments for Wednesday, February 4th, include Liam learning that Eric is designing for Katie's new fashion house, Logan. Meanwhile, Rj feels intense guilt. It's going to be a big day in Los Angeles. Rj essentially forced Eric to retire from Forrester Creations. Eric wasn't ready to retire. In fact, he had a whole portfolio of new designs that were great. Unfortunately, Rj refused to listen to his father. Instead, he planned a big retirement party for Eric, and Eric wasn't happy at all. At the same time, Katie received her own fashion house from Bill for their recent wedding. Of course, she's not really a designer, and she needed one pronto. Eric just so happened to be free, so he showed off his designs to Katie. Of course, Katie loved them because Eric is a professional with lots of designing left in him. In the February 3rd episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Dylan quietly went along with Ivy's nefarious plan. She agreed that she would leave town as long as Ivy didn't tell Electra what happened the night she was away. Ivy was disgusted by what she witnessed the night before. She thought she saw an inappropriate interaction between Dylan and Will. But what really happened was an innocent night between two friends babysitting Hayes. Dylan didn't have plans to leave town. She was bullied into the decision. Ivy set her up after spying on her niece's friend the night she was away. She was disgusted by what she witnessed. In Ivy's mind, Dylan acted inappropriately with Electra's boyfriend. She took control of the situation by conning Dylan into leaving town. Ivy gave her money to fill her tank so she could go far away. Dylan was free to do whatever she wanted. She could have a new life elsewhere. She wasn't guaranteed a new place or job. Dylan could end up in a worse place, but Ivy doesn't care. And she doesn't care if her niece is heartbroken by this sudden news. Ivy doesn't even like Will. Some part of her believes that he could cheat on Electra because he carries the Spencer gene. But instead of taking up this issue with Will, she used Dylan as her punching bag. Ivy knew that she could regain control of a situation that was never hers in the first place. This is Electra's matter, and she can handle her friend, as she has before. Besides, Dylan is grateful for Electra's friendship and wouldn't disrespect her relationship. But that doesn't matter to Ivy. She just wants the problem gone, even though there wasn't one. On Tuesday's episode, Dylan ran into RJ, who has gotten comfortable with his position at Forrester Creations. Their eyes met as they crashed into each other. RJ pressed Dylan for questions. At first, she hesitated, but then she flirted as she grinned at him. RJ said he hoped to see her again. Dylan assured him that he wouldn't, but now he needed to know more about Electra's friend. Dylan had already made an imprint in his mind. Ivy has no idea what's coming for her. Dylan could confess and spill the truth to Electra while she's gone, as she plans a quiet return to reclaim her place in Los Angeles. Could she come back and cause trouble for Ivy? What if Dylan falls for RJ, not Will? Ivy Forrester has been single way too long on The Bold and the Beautiful. The Forrester spinster has so much time on her hands, she's going to launch a full-blown investigation into Will Spencer's new roomie Dylan. Aunt Ivy thinks that she's going to catch Miss Dylan red-handed seducing Dollar Bill Jr., but will she actually stumble upon something much worse when she is playing Nancy Drew? The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Dylan has no intention of leaving Los Angeles because Electra Forrester's aunt told her so. Ivy's going to be furious when she learns that Will Spencer's roomie still hasn't moved out, even after her super serious threats last week. Although Ivy has clearly lost her marbles, she's right about one thing and Dylan is up to no good. Ivy Forrester will probably set up camp in the bushes at the beach house, hoping to catch Dylan and Will Spencer canoodling. But viewers at home know that there's a lot more going on with the homeless art teacher than just her crush on Electra's boyfriend. There's a chance that Dylan didn't even run Luna over and just lied to cash in on the wealthy young couple. Other popular soap rumors say Dylan is secretly related to someone we already know on Bold and the Beautiful. A popular fan theory on social media is that Dylan might even be the secret daughter of villainous Sheila Carter. Regardless, Miss Dylan has a lot of secrets, and Ivy Forrester could stumble upon one of them while she's spying on her. Do you think that Ivy is taking things too far? Should she invest some of this energy into finding her own boyfriend? Will she discover Dylan's hiding something crazy? The Bold and the Beautiful's Ivy has a naughty plan. Some would say it's not proper. She told Dylan that if she leaves town, she won't tell Electra what happened. But this plan comes with a catch. Ivy blackmailed Dylan with a full tank of gas. Dylan wants a fresh start, and Ivy could be her get-out-of-jail-free card. The cost of living in Los Angeles is ridiculous. Ivy's money could provide Dylan with a clean break and the ability to lay low and disappear. After all, she wanted to hide out after running over Luna. She didn't want to deal with the media attention she created. While Dylan calls LA her home, she's an outsider. She only has one friend, Electra, and by association, Will. Her family doesn't live there, as far as we know. She doesn't have a job or a place to call her own. Her dream already crashed, and she should take the steps to get her life back on track. But that's not going to happen in a place like Los Angeles. Arguably, Dylan shouldn't run out of LA, since she didn't do anything wrong. Ivy is being irrational about the situation and the couple's demands. She thinks she can get rid of the problem, even though cracks already exist in Electra and Will's relationship. B&B viewers noticed that Will has kept his feelings bottled up inside. He confessed to Dylan how he really felt about the Luna situation. He admitted that he felt like a burden in Electra's life. Dylan should confess to Electra and Will about Ivy's blackmail. But she'd better watch her back. There's nothing worse than a Forrester scorned. If Ivy feels betrayed, she'll make it her life's mission to ruin Dylan's life and to make sure she gets no opportunity in Los Angeles. Taking Ivy's money is a short-term solution, but she could end up in greater trouble than she is now. On the other hand, she could get the upper hand to expose Ivy and to make herself look good in the end. Once Electra finds out about her aunt's dirty deed, she might think differently of her. Electra has a hard time trusting her friends lately. But how will she feel about the woman who helped raise her? The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers say Carter Walton and Daphne Rose's wedding day is right around the corner, and neither of them have a single family member to invite to the nuptials. It makes sense that the couple has decided to get married at Forrester Creations. The only people they are inviting are their co-workers. Does Carter Walton even have any family to invite? As a matter of fact, do the Bold and the Beautiful viewers even know who his family is? Lawrence St. Victor has become a household name over the years on the daytime soap opera. But his character, Carter Walton, is different from the rest of Forrester and Spencer gang. In fact, Carter is the only person on the soap that isn't related to a single person in the Spencer or families. Actually, he's only had one relative on Bold and the Beautiful in the past decade. Carter has been a figurehead at Forrester Creations so long, fans tend to forget that the legal beagle was really just hired as a corporate lawyer at the office years ago. Carter has never really had much of a backstory on B&B. Lawrence St. Victor debuted in January 2013. He was introduced as Marcus Forrester's adopted brother. Marcus had met him when he was a child, and they were in and out of foster homes together. Marcus put in a good word for Carter, and he got Rick Forrester to hire him at the FC office. The rest is history. Over the years, we have learned bits and pieces of Carter's backstory prior to getting a job at Forrester Creations. It has been mentioned that Carter doesn't have any contact with his real parents and has never expressed any interest in finding them. The sad truth is, Carter Walton doesn't have any family to even invite. That might explain why he has been so desperate over the years to get married and start a family of his own. Interestingly, Carter Walton's bridge. Daphne Rose isn't much different. Daphne hasn't even been on The Bold and the Beautiful for a year yet, and we don't know anything about her, other than she came from Paris last year and makes amazing perfumes. Do you think it's time for The Bold and the Beautiful to start giving Carter Walton some backstory, or maybe even have a long-lost relative or parent show up? The Bold and the Beautiful viewers were blindsided when Carter Walton proposed to Daphne Rose, and they began planning their Forrester Creations wedding. Seeing as how he was just engaged to Hope Logan the month before and barely knew her, Carter's proposal definitely raised a few eyebrows. Apparently, Carter's portrayer Lawrence St. Victor even thought the move was cringy. Carter Walton is the king of secondhand embarrassment on The Bold and the Beautiful. It's excruciating watching the handsome lawyer throwing himself at women. Carter is a catch, but his self-esteem definitely needs some work. According to B&B spoilers, Carter and Daphne Rose are moving full steam ahead with their wedding plans. But could his eagerness to get her to the altar start to push her away? At this point, it looks like Carter could care less who he marries, as long as they say, "I do." Daphne could start to get cold feet as the day gets closer because her future husband is acting so desperate. With the big wedding right around the corner, Lawrence St. Victor sat down for an interview to promote his character's big storyline. Ironically, St. Victor revealed that even he had a tough time getting behind Carter's latest engagement and said that he's trying too hard. The Bold and the Beautiful actor told She Knows Soaps, "I would love to get into Carter's family life. Like, why is he the way he is? He's a very interesting character to me because he presents himself as so good and so earnest and so perfect. But then when he's in these relationships, it almost looks like he's trying too hard. What is broken inside of him that makes him feel like he has to work so hard to be good? I feel like that has to come from his family. Carter Walton's parents have never been introduced on the CBS soap opera, but rumors hint someone from his family might crash his wedding. Do you agree with Lawrence St. Victor? Is Carter trying too hard? Will his desperation scare Daphne away? Share your thoughts in the comments down below and keep checking back here on Soap Opera Spy for more Bold and the Beautiful news and updates. January belonged to Sean Kanan on The Bold and the Beautiful. As Deacon, Kanan delivered a layered, emotionally charged performance that captured the character's constant push and pull between desire, guilt, fear, and loyalty. Over the course of the month, viewers watched Deacon fall deeper for Taylor while remaining tethered to Sheila, fully aware that every choice he made carried real danger. By the time Deacon crossed a line he couldn't uncross, Kanan had made every conflicted beat feel earned. Sean Kanan has never played Deacon as a simple bad guy or a reformed hero, and January highlighted why that approach works. Deacon's sessions with Taylor weren't just plot devices. Kanan infused them with vulnerability, hesitation, and longing, allowing viewers to see how Deacon slowly lost control of feelings he knew he shouldn't be having. What stood out was how carefully Kanan paced the arc. Deacon didn't leap headfirst into romance. He wrestled with it. Every look, pause, and deflection carried weight, especially as Deacon tried to convince himself that therapy was helping him fix his marriage rather than unravel it. The real tension came from Deacon's marriage to Sheila, a relationship that has always lived on the edge of disaster. Kanan played Deacon as a man who knew exactly how dangerous Sheila could be, yet remained emotionally trapped by her. That awareness never left the performance. Even in lighter or more romantic moments with Taylor, Kanan's Deacon didn't forget Sheila when she wasn't in the room. The threat lingered in his expressions and decisions, grounding the storyline in unease rather than fantasy. It made the attraction to Taylor feel reckless, not romanticized, and raised the stakes without anyone needing to say a word. By the end of January, Deacon and Taylor crossed the line they had been dancing around. Their kiss landed not as a triumphant payoff, but as a moment heavy with consequence. Kanan sold the hesitation right up until it disappeared, making the choice feel impulsive and inevitable at the same time. That's what made the moment work. Deacon didn't suddenly become fearless or foolish. He became human. Kanan captured the release, the guilt, and the realization that there was no easy way back once the line was crossed. January's arc required balance, and Kanan delivered it. He made Deacon sympathetic without excusing him, conflicted without repeating himself, and compelling without overpowering the story. In a month defined by emotional risk and looming danger, Kanan grounded the storyline with honesty and control. That's why he earned Soap Hub's Performer of the Month honors for his work on B&B. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers are in for Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. Fans can expect Dylan to make a shocking announcement. RJ Forrester shows off his designs. Plus, Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes make a vow. Keep reading to find out what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Ivy Forrester. The lady played sick to get out of going to San Francisco, then spied on Will Spencer and Dylan. Ivy didn't bother knocking on the door. She just peered in the window like some creepy peeping Tom. The woman didn't bother confronting Will, just Dylan. It was Will who kept insisting Dylan dance for him after all. Ivy threatened Dylan and threw some cash in her face. Dylan doesn't want Elektra hating her, so she plans on just filling up her car and driving out of town. Before she leaves, Dylan stops by Forrester Creations to make her announcement. However, when Will and Elektra want an explanation, Dylan can't tell her about Ivy, so she will come up with an excuse. Don't expect Dylan to leave town just yet, though. It seems that when Elektra zooms out of FC, she literally runs into RJ. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for tomorrow's episode reveal that Deacon and Taylor will make a vow to one another. Despite Deacon being married to Sheila Carter Sharp, he now thinks he's in love with Taylor. In an interesting twist, Taylor has thrown her medical oaths out the window and wants to be with Deacon too. So, how are they going to do this? Deacon should dump Sheila before moving on with Taylor. They can't keep their romance a secret from her forever. Just wait until Steffi Forrester Finnegan finds out. The brunette will be furious with both her mother and Deacon. Steffi will also want to make sure her own family is protected in case Sheila does look for a target. There are also RJ's designs. It seems that RJ might stick around a bit, likely because of meeting both Elektra and Dylan. RJ will also show his latest sketches to Carter Walton. Carter might be really impressed. With Carter's wedding to Daphne Rose coming up, could RJ design for the nuptials? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026? Steffi Forrester is at her wit's end on The Bold and the Beautiful. What does a girl have to do to convince her mom not to sleep with her patients? Taylor Hayes heard her daughter loud and clear about Deacon Sharp, and she's still moving forward with her scandalous affair with Sheila Carter's husband. How far will Steffi Forrester go to keep her mother away from Deacon Sharp? Keep reading to find out. Here's what's coming up next on The Bold and the Beautiful. Spoilers down below. Next week, Taylor Hayes will be floating with her head in the clouds after her steamy makeout session with her married patient. Deacon even vowed to divorce Sheila Carter so that they can spend the rest of their lives together. When Steffi realizes her mom could care less about putting them all in danger with Sheila Carter, she could make a shocking move and give her mother an ultimatum. Steffi made Dr. Finn choose between Sheila and Luna and their family. She would be a hypocrite if she didn't give her mother the same ultimatum. Granted, Taylor's situation with Sheila is a little different, but at the end of the day, Taylor is putting her daughter and grandchildren in danger by canoodling with Sheila's husband. Steffi's mom seems to be desperate for love after getting dumped so heartlessly by Ridge Forrester. For such an educated woman, Taylor seems to be delusional when it comes to her new romance. According to The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Steffi's mom might actually choose Deacon Sharp over her family. Will Steffi make good on her promises and cut ties with Taylor?